Company incites on agreements and obligations attached with Uganda National Oil Company. Let's have the details of this report.
The Public Finance Management Act is quite broad. So it has elements to do with petroleum revenues, it has elements to do with the public accountability, it has elements to do with how you manage the consolidated fund. Public Finance Management Act that was enacted in 2015 through investing through the investment fund, investing in very secure assets that have a good rating. So that money will be delineated, put in a particular, put in the investment, and that fund will grow. It will most likely sit in sovereign, in bonds, probably treasury bonds of highly rated countries. So that's one element. The second element is that Parliament can appropriate an amount from that fund to fund infrastructure development. So that's the only other reason. So when Parliament appropriates this money from the petroleum fund for infrastructure, it is drawn and put into the consolidated fund, but for only one purpose: infrastructure development. So they will be used, it will be used for road construction, for rail, for bridges, for things like that, infrastructure. And of course you can understand why. The idea is that if you build infrastructure, good infrastructure, you connect people, you enable people to be more productive, to transport their products to the market, and so you spur development. We have taken final investment decision in oil and gas. The opportunities are immense, and we encourage Ugandans to participate because the law favors you and gives you priority to participate in the sector. It's about $11 billion that are going to be spent in the next 4 years. Please, we encourage you to participate. We are here to support you. Come, disturb us if you have questions or issues, and we'll support you to ensure that you get work and that you deliver and participate in the projects and earn good money from the projects.
So, and when you look at the situations and a lot of questions that are happening on the oil and gas sector in Uganda, is that almost all the Ugandans have looked at it as an opportunity. There are those Ugandans as well who have looked at it as an opportunity that with the ongoing oil crisis, with the fuel prices soaring higher each other month that comes by, is that hopefully by 2025, when we have our first drop of oil, these are some of the things, or these are some of the situations that will be settled. But we still have to understand that we have three stakeholders in this. We have the Sino company, we have Uganda, there's also Tanzania, so there's also Total Energies. So we have four stakeholders here, with the Total Energies having the highest percentage of 65, and clearly showing you that with Uganda and Tanzania having only the 15% shows you that there are key stakeholders. There are a lot of stakeholders in the oil and gas sector, but there are a lot of opportunities, like I was saying before we even called in this particular report. Looking at a number of people who have actually said that there are also people who will actually be doing surveying. There is an opportunity for the real estate sector. This one is actually expected to generate in a lot of market because of the oil. When you look at countries like Nigeria, the real estate sector is one of those dominant sectors in there that has grown greatly. And that has been because of also the oil. Looking at even the richest man in Nigeria, that is Aliko Dangote, richest man on the continent as well, him being a man with a number of refineries in the country there. So clearly shows you that the oil and gas sector has a very huge step in development of a country, if at all we are going to be very key beneficiaries. But how do we become beneficiaries is when we take chances that will be available. We avail ourselves to opportunities that will come ahead of us. We as a country are having the chances here. We as a country are having the opportunities that come by, and these opportunities are quite many. We've seen when the East African Crude Oil Pipeline project was actually signed here, we saw the president to Tanzania, High Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, coming in to meet his fellow in His Excellency Yoweri Museveni. A number of agreements were signed, a number of deals, which also included the removal of barriers or the border. On the border, a lot of all the things were actually were actually signed, and most of these things were looking at the opportunity of creating an opportunity for not only Ugandans but also Tanzanians. Why? Because the East African Crude Oil Pipeline project, the pipe will be moving from Hoima down to Tanga port in Tanzania. That will be managing the refining process as well as the exportation. So when you look at that, the opportunities are not only rising for Ugandans. That is where the Ugandans need to understand that it is chance for you to utilize every chance, or it is chance for you to utilize every opportunity that comes your way. When you look at a generation that we're in, there is a lot of competition. Competition in various fields, and competition whereby almost everyone is very good at what they do. So you always have to stand up at the top of your game. If you're not too good at what you do, then luck has to stand your way, or you have to get the rightful connections that will put you in there. We're into a reality checker where now almost everyone is looking closely. With all these ongoing conferences that target the oil and gas sector, we've seen a number of initiatives coming up. We've seen a number of Ugandans going and picking up different courses at different institutions of higher learning, looking at the oil and gas sector. And back in the time when the oil and gas sector became a reality to Ugandans, that is when even the government made sure that different institutions get these courses on board for at least the Ugandans to tap into the available opportunities. But then you should also remember that this time around, it is not competing only with the Ugandans. Ugandans are going to be competing with the international experts. Experts who have been in the oil and gas sector with vast experience in there, working for different companies or from different countries as well, coming into here because they do have a lot of experience in the sector. So that shows you how much a Ugandan needs to invest in creating opportunities for yourself, in making sure that you invest in the available chances that come by. You always have to strike a chance before anything goes wrong for you. So it is definitely a time for us to take a look, and we have a lot of space here, and we can clearly look at 2022 and utilize 2022 to 2024 before a final drop in 2025, because now I've also seen Total Energies having a training that has also been ongoing, and this is also to help Ugandans understand. People have been going through interviews of oil and gas and also sitting for papers or examinations. So that shows you how important the sector is and how they are looking for qualified Ugandans who are having qualified skills and who are ready to tap into the available opportunities in the oil and gas sector. So when you have the opportunity and the chance, you always have to go and strike it. For anyone out there, it is very, very important for people to understand that the structures that are set forward for us in regards to matters to do with the oil and gas sector is now for our benefit. We are a major stakeholder. Reason being, we are the oil-rich country. So it being the fact that we have the source shows that we are major stakeholders here. But how do we become major stakeholders if we also don't have people employed in the sector? So that is where most of the Ugandans have to step up, come into it and get to understand more. But well, later on in the show, we shall be joining a team at Kampala Serena Hotel that will be giving us more of the details regarding the conference that is ongoing of the oil and gas sector, where most of the key stakeholders in the oil and gas sector are present on ground. The conference that is slated to happen from today till tomorrow, and we'll be giving you a live broadcast from there as well in our today's programming to give you the opportunity to understand and clearly get to get the feed as it comes in, and how you can tap into the available opportunities of the oil and gas sector. There are a lot of chances in there that Ugandans need to execute, and there are a lot of opportunities that Ugandans have to make sure that they utilize before anyone else comes up to step up and take away what belongs to the Ugandans. Well, besides looking at that, also I've also mentioned about something to do with fuel prices. The fuel prices, like I said, are soaring high. Quite a number of fuel stations are having different fuel prices. If you could see, some stations are already now hitting to 5,290, 5,230 around there, while others are having it at 5,100. So it depends on the petrol station, the kind of brand, and the location of the station. And this location of the station always affects the bigger brands, which are normally one or two brands in the land currently that are dominating the fuel market here. But the other brands are definitely around 5,100 for petrol, and diesel is around 4,600 to 4,650, so not beyond or less than that. So you can see a lot of Ugandans also look at the opportunities that will arise, that once the oil and gas sector is good to go with a fast drop of oil, then these are chances that we can definitely execute. Well, with that, we take a break, and we shall return with more of the SMB and giving you more information regarding business. Stick around.